Zainab Okafor was not supposed to be in Warehouse 7.
This place no be correct.
She was supposed to be in Warehouse 5, delivering pharmaceutical samples for her company's late-night inventory transfer. But the rain was coming down in sheets. The Korean signage looked identical in the dark, and her phone's GPS had died 3 blocks ago. 26 years old, soaked to the bone, and holding a box of legitimate medication samples, Zara, as her colleagues called her, pushed open the rusted door of what she thought was the right building. The smell hit her first, not the antiseptic cleanliness of medical supplies, but something else. Gasoline, metal, and underneath it all, the copper tang of blood. "This is wrong," she whispered in pidgin English, her Nigerian accent thick with tiredness. "This place no, be correct." That's when the lights blazed on. 12 men surrounded her instantly, guns drawn, faces covered, and in the center of them all stood a man who made her forget how to breathe. Choi Jae-sung. She didn't know his name yet, but she'd know it soon. Know it the way you know the taste of fear on your tongue. He was tall, over 6 feet, dressed in all black tactical gear that seemed to absorb the light around him. But it was his eyes that stopped her heart. Cold, empty, ancient eyes in a young face. And when he moved, she saw it. The tattoo, a massive black dragon coiled around his left arm, its crimson eyes seeming to glow in the warehouse lighting. The beast's head reaching across his chest like it was guarding his heart. "Wrong place," he said in English.
"Wrong place."
His voice like gravel and smoke, each word measured, controlled, deadly.
Jung, run her
Zara's
face.
box slipped from her hands. Pill bottles scattered across the concrete
place.
floor.
I'm just making a delivery. Pharmaceutical sales.
Pharmaceutical
I work
sales.
for it.
I work
Jung,
for
run her
Jung,
face.
he interrupted, speaking Korean to one of his men. "Run her face!" A younger man with glasses stepped forward, tablet in hand. His fingers flew across the screen, while Zara's heart hammered so hard she thought it would crack her ribs. She should run. She knew she should run, but her legs had turned to water. "Boss," Jung said quietly. "She's not in any database. No criminal record, no connections. She's..." He looked up, confused. "She's exactly who she says she is. Zainab Okafor, Nigerian National Pharmaceutical Sales Representative for Medicorp Korea. She's been in Korea for 14 months on a work visa." Choi Jae-sung's jaw tightened almost imperceptibly. His hand, which had been resting on his gun, flexed once, twice. "Then why is she here?" His voice was quieter now. Somehow that was worse. "GPS malfunction. Most likely," Jung offered. "Boss, I think." The explosion cut him off. Warehouse 519, the building Zara was supposed to be in, erupted in flames. The blast wave hit their warehouse like a physical punch, shattering windows, throwing Zara to the ground. Strong hands grabbed her, pulled her up, shielded her body with something solid and warm. She smelled expensive cologne and gunpowder, felt the thundering heartbeat of the man covering her with his own body. When the debris stopped falling, Choi Jae-sung pulled back to look at her. Really, look at her. Zara's dark brown skin was covered in dust. Her braids, long, intricate cornrows she'd spent 4 hours getting done last week, were coming loose. Her brown eyes were wide with shock, and there was a cut on her cheek bleeding slowly. She was beautiful, and she was alive because she'd walked into the wrong warehouse. "Boss." Jung's voice was urgent now. "That was supposed to be. I know what it was supposed to be." Jae-sung cut him off. His eyes never left Zara's face. "Someone knew our schedule. Someone knew which warehouse." "We have a leak," another man. Marcus, his second in command, stated the obvious. Jae-sung finally released Zara and stepped back. She swayed on her feet, looking at the burning building across the lot, then back at him. "I was supposed to be there," she said slowly, the reality sinking in. "I was supposed to be in that building." "Yes," Jae-sung said simply. "You saved me. I was saving myself. You were in the way." But they both knew that was a lie. He'd covered her body with his own. That wasn't self-preservation. That was something else. Sirens wailed in the distance. Jae-sung made a decision in the space of a heartbeat. Bring her! What? Zara stumbled backward. No, I need to go. I need to call my company. You need to live, Jae-sung said, and there was something in his voice that made her stop moving. Whoever planted that bomb thinks you're dead. If you surface now, they'll correct their mistake. Do you understand? Zara's mind was racing. This man was clearly dangerous, clearly involved in something illegal. Every instinct screamed at her to run, to get away, to find the police. But he'd saved her life, and something in those cold, empty eyes made her believe he was telling the truth. How long? She whispered. Until I find who did this. Jae-sung adjusted his cuffs, a nervous habit he'd had since childhood, though his face remained impassive. 3 days, maybe 4. And if I refuse? The corner of his mouth twitched, almost a smile. Almost. Then you'll die in a hospital bed when they come to finish the job. Your choice. It wasn't a choice at all. Zara closed her eyes, opened them. I hate you already. Smart woman, Jae-sung said. Then, to his men, move out. Chen, call the cleaners. Jung, I want to know who planted that bomb by dawn. Marcus, with me. And just like that, Zainab Okafor, Zara to her friends, the girl who'd left Lagos 3 years ago to build a better life, became a captive of Korea's most feared man. She just didn't know, yet that he was more afraid of her than she'd ever be of him. Day 12:33 a.m. The safe house was a penthouse in Gangnam that probably cost more than Zara's entire family would make in 10 lifetimes. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the Seoul skyline. The furniture was minimalist and expensive, all clean lines and dark wood. The art on the walls was real, not prints. She could tell because her father had been an art dealer before he died, before everything fell apart. Your room, Jae-sung said, opening a door to a bedroom that was bigger than her entire apartment. Zara stood in the doorway, taking it in. King-sized bed with silk sheets. Ensuite bathroom with a tub that could fit 3 people. A walk-in closet that already had clothes in it. Women's clothes, in what looked like her size. How did you... she started. Jung is efficient, Jae-sung said. There's a first aid kit in the bathroom. Clean that cut. He turned to leave, but Zara's voice stopped him. Why are you doing this? Jae-sung paused, his back to her. The dragon tattoo rippled as his shoulder muscles tensed. I don't leave loose ends. I'm not a loose end. I'm a person. In my world, he said slowly, still not turning around. Those are the same thing. The door closed behind him with a soft click. Zara heard the lock engage from the outside. She was alone in a golden cage. For a long moment, she just stood there, taking it all in. Then, like a dam breaking, the reality of the night crashed over her. She sank to the floor, back against the expensive door, and let herself shake. She'd almost died tonight. Was supposed to die. The pharmaceutical delivery had been a last-minute assignment from her supervisor. Easy money, he'd said. Just drop off the samples and come back. Now she understood. It had been a setup. Someone at her company was involved in whatever that warehouse was hiding. And that someone thought she was dead. Zara pulled out her phone, miraculously still intact, and stared at the screen. 3 missed calls from her mother in Lagos. 2 texts from her younger brother asking for money again. 1 email from her landlord reminding her that her lease was up in 2 days. 2 days! She almost laughed at the absurdity. 2 days ago, her biggest problem was finding a new apartment. Now she was being held captive by a man with a dragon tattoo and eyes like winter. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Do not contact anyone. Sleep. We'll talk in the morning. Young. Of course they had her number. Zara pulled herself up, walked to the bathroom, and looked at herself in the mirror. The cut on her cheek had stopped bleeding, but it would scar. Her braids were a disaster. Her clothes, a simple black shirt and jeans, were torn and covered in dust. She looked like a survivor. She looked like someone who'd given up. Because the truth was, before tonight, Zara had been planning her own disappearance. Not as dramatic as the explosion, but just as final. She'd been fired 3 weeks ago for refusing to help smuggle counterfeit drugs. Her family had stopped talking to her when she'd reported her old company for corruption. They thought she was bringing shame, causing trouble, being too big for her station. She had 43,000 won in her bank account. No job, no apartment in 2 days, no family to call. She'd been planning to use her return ticket to Lagos and just disappear. Stop trying. Stop fighting. Stop being the girl who thought she could make it in a foreign country. But now, someone had tried to kill her, and a dangerous man had saved her. And suddenly, impossibly, she wanted to live. Zara cleaned her wound, changed into the silk pajamas. Someone had left for her. They fit perfectly, which was unsettling, and climbed into the most comfortable bed she'd ever touched. She didn't expect to sleep. She dreamed of dragons with red eyes and men who saved you while promising nothing. Day 2, 9:17 a.m. Zara woke to the smell of food. For a disoriented moment, she forgot where she was. Then it all came rushing back. The warehouse, the explosion, the man with the tattoo. She got up, pulled on a robe that had been left on the chair, cashmere, of course, and followed her nose to the main living area. The table was set with enough food for 10 people. Rice, soup, kimchi, grilled fish, and found. Her heart stuttered. Jollof rice. Nigerian jollof rice, made the way her mother used to make it, with the right spices and the slightly burned bottom that made it perfect. Jae-sung sat at the head of the table, dressed in a simple black t-shirt and dark jeans. The dragon tattoo was fully visible now, and Zara found herself staring at it. The detail was incredible. Each scale individually inked, the way the tail wrapped around his bicep, the fierce intelligence in those red eyes. "I'm awake," he said without looking up from his phone. "You made jollof rice," Zara said stupidly. "Jung made jollof rice. I don't cook." He finally looked at her, and something flickered in his eyes. "I wanted you to eat." It was such a simple statement, but it made Zara's throat tight. When was the last time someone had cared if she ate? She sat down across from him, putting the length of the table between them. "So what now?" "Now you eat, then we talk." He set his phone down. Jung found something interesting. Zara picked up her chopsticks, took a bite of the jollof rice. It was perfect, and that made her want to cry, and waited. "The bomb was planted by Park Ji-woo," Jae-sung said conversationally, as if discussing the weather. "She's a rival, wants my territory. The leak in my organization was Marcus. Your second in command?" Zara's eyes widened. "The man from last night? Former second in command. He won't be a problem anymore." The way he said it made Zara's stomach turn. But Ji-woo is still out there, and she knows the bomb didn't kill me, which means she'll be looking for survivors. "But I'm not," Zara started. "You were there. That makes you a witness, a liability." Jae-sung leaned back in his chair, studying her with those unsettling eyes. "In my world, liabilities don't survive. Then why am I still alive?" The question hung between them like smoke. Jae-sung's jaw tightened. His hand moved to adjust his watch. Another nervous tell. "I haven't decided yet." It should have terrified her. It did terrify her. But Zara was so tired of being afraid, tired of running, tired of letting the world happen to her instead of making her own choices. "Well," she said, taking another bite of jollof rice, "while you're deciding, I'm going to eat this excellent food, and then I'm going to take a shower in that ridiculous bathroom, and then you're going to tell me what's really going on." For the first time since she'd met him, Choi Jae-sung looked genuinely surprised. Then, and Zara would swear later she didn't imagine it, he almost smiled. "You're not what I expected," he said quietly. Yeah, Zara replied. I get that a lot. Day 4, 11:32 p.m. Zara couldn't sleep. It had been 3 days in the penthouse, and she'd learned several things about her captor. 1. Choi Jae-sung never slept more than 4 hours a night. 2. He took his coffee black with exactly 1 spoonful of sugar. 3. The dragon tattoo was for his sister, who died 5 years ago in a gang attack he couldn't stop. 4. He read constantly. Philosophy, military strategy, and, surprisingly, poetry. 5. He was terrible at pretending he wasn't watching her. The dynamic had shifted on day 2. After breakfast, Jae-sung had laid out the situation clinically. Park Ji-woo was hunting for survivors. Until he could eliminate the threat, Zara needed to stay hidden. 3 days, he'd said. Maybe 4, but it had been 4 days now, and he hadn't mentioned letting her go. And Zara hadn't asked. Now, at nearly midnight, she padded out of her room in silk pajamas. She'd stopped questioning how Jung seemed to know her exact size for everything, and found Jae-sung standing at the window, looking out at Seoul's glittering skyline. He'd removed his shirt. The dragon tattoo covered most of his left arm, shoulder, and chest, but Zara could now see the rest of his back. Scars, dozens of them, crisscrossing his skin like a road map of violence. Can't sleep? He asked without turning around. How did you know I was here? I always know where you are. He said it matter-of-factly, but something in his voice made Zara's breath catch. She moved closer, drawn against her better judgment. Your sister, the dragon. What was her name? Jae-sung's shoulders tensed. For a long moment, she thought he wouldn't answer. Then, Minseo, she was 16. Smart. Going to be a doctor. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. Sorry doesn't bring people back. His voice was rough, raw in a way she hadn't heard before. I was supposed to protect her. I failed. Zara thought about her own failures, her father's death, her mother's disappointment, the way she'd let life break her down piece by piece until she'd almost disappeared entirely. I was going to give up, she said quietly. Before the explosion, before you, I'd decided I was done fighting. Jae-sung turned to face her then. In the low light, with his guard down and his scars visible, he looked younger, more human. What changed? Someone tried to kill me, Zara said with a bitter laugh. Turns out that was exactly the wake-up call I needed. Funny how that works. Not funny. Jae-sung took a step closer. Ironic, maybe. Cruel, definitely. But not funny. They were standing too close now. Zara could see the details of the dragon tattoo, the way its scales shifted when he breathed, the intelligence in those crimson eyes, the protective curl of its body around his heart. Why did you really save me? She whispered. Jae-sung's hand came up, hovering near her face but not touching. His eyes traced the healing cut on her cheek, the scar she'd carry forever from the night they met. I almost jumped once, he said, his voice barely audible. 5 years ago, after Minseo died, stood on a rooftop for 3 hours. His eyes met hers. I wanted to stop feeling, stop failing, stop being the person everyone needed me to be. What stopped you? A stray cat. He huffed out something that might have been a laugh. Stupid, right? But it rubbed against my leg, and I thought, something still needs me, even if it's just a cat. Zara understood then. Understood in a way that made her chest ache. You saw it in me. That look, the giving up. When you walked into that warehouse, Jae-sung said, his hand finally making contact, just his fingertips against her jawline. You had the eyes of someone who'd already decided. And when the explosion went off, when I covered you, he swallowed hard. You weren't afraid of dying. You were surprised to be alive. So you saved me because I know what it's like to want to disappear, he finished. And because I thought, maybe if I could save you, It would make up for not saving her. The confession hung between them, like a living thing. Zara's hand came up to cover his, holding his fingers against her face. You can't save everyone. I know. His thumb brushed her cheekbone. But I can save you. I didn't ask. I'm not asking permission. It should have made her angry, should have reminded her that she was here against her will, that he was a criminal, that this whole situation was insane. Instead, it made her feel safe, and that was the most dangerous thing of all. I should go back to bed, Zara said, but she didn't move. You should, Jae-sung agreed, but his hand stayed on her face. They stood like that for what felt like hours, but was probably only seconds. Two broken people, held together by chance and circumstance and something neither wanted to name. Finally, Zara stepped back. Good night, Jae-sung. It was the first time she'd used his name. His eyes darkened with something that looked like hunger, like hope, like fear. Good night, Zara. She walked back to her room on shaking legs and closed the door. Neither of them slept that night. Day 7 to 3:47 a.m. The gunshots woke her. Zara bolted upright in bed, heart racing. More shots, closer this time. Shouting in Korean. The sound of breaking glass. Her door burst open. Jae-sung, fully dressed in tactical gear, gun in hand, get up. Now. What's happening? Ji-woo found us. He grabbed her arm, pulling her out of bed. We're leaving. They ran through the penthouse. Jung was in the living room, typing frantically on a laptop. Car's ready, boss. Back entrance. The others? Chen and Hwan are holding the lobby. We have maybe 2 minutes. Jae-sung's grip on Zara's hand was almost painful. They burst into the stairwell, taking stairs 3 at a time. Behind them, the sound of pursuit. Shouting. More gunshots. They're coming, someone yelled in Korean. Jae-sung pushed Zara ahead of him, his body between her and the threat. They hit the parking garage at a dead run. A black SUV waited, engine running. Jung dove into the driver's seat. Jae-sung shoved Zara into the back and followed, slamming the door. Go! Tires squealed. Gunshots pinged off the bulletproof glass. Zara ducked instinctively, and Jae-sung covered her with his body again. Just like first night. Stay down, he ordered, his breath hot against her ear. Through the chaos, Zara felt something she hadn't expected. Anger. I'm so sick of people shooting at me, she yelled into his chest. Despite everything, and laughed, the danger, the bullets, the fear, and laughed too, actually laughed. The sound rumbled through his chest and into hers, and it was the most beautiful sound she'd ever heard. Welcome to my world, he said. They peeled out of the garage and into the Seoul night. Jung drove like a man possessed, weaving through traffic, running red lights, taking corners that made Zara's stomach lurch. Where are we going? She asked. Safe house number 2, Jung said from the front. She won't find us there. You said that about the penthouse, Zara pointed out. Jae-sung pulled back enough to look at her. His face was inches from hers, and she could see the fear in his eyes, not for himself, but for her. Are you hurt? He asked, his hands moving over her arms, her shoulders, checking for injuries with surprising gentleness. I'm fine. I'm okay. She caught his hands, stilling them. Jae-sung, I'm okay. But he wasn't. She could see it in his eyes. The control he always maintained was cracking, showing the terrified man underneath. I can't. He started, then stopped. Started again. If something happened to you, nothing happened. But it could have. It almost did. His grip on her hands tightened. That's twice now. Twice you've nearly died because of me. Because of Park Ji-woo, Zara corrected. Not because of you. Same thing. It's really not. They were still holding hands, still inches apart in the back of a speeding SUV, while Jung drove and occasionally cursed in Korean. Boss, Jung called from the front. We have a tail. 2 cars. Jae-sung's eyes never left Zara's face. Lose them. Working on it. The SUV swerved violently. Horns blared. Zara felt herself thrown against Jae-sung, his arms coming around her automatically, holding her steady. And then it happened. In the chaos and the fear and the adrenaline, with gunshots echoing and tires squealing, Choi Jae-sung, Korea's most feared man, the silent reaper, the monster in the dark, kissed her. It wasn't gentle. It was desperate and fierce and tasted like fear and relief, and something that felt dangerously close to need. Zara kissed him back just as desperately, his hands tangled in her braids. Her fingers gripped the tactical vest he wore. The SUV swerved again, but neither of them noticed. The world narrowed to this. His mouth on hers, his heart pounding against her palm, the way he kissed her like she was oxygen, and he was drowning. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, Jae-sung's eyes were wide with something that looked like shock. "I shouldn't have done that," he said. "No," Zara agreed. "You really shouldn't have." It was stupid, reckless, completely inappropriate. She was still holding onto his vest. Do it again. So he did. This time it was slower, deeper. The kind of kiss that promised things neither of them could guarantee. The kind of kiss that changed everything. From the front seat, Jung cleared his throat. "Lost them, boss. We're clear." Jae-sung pulled back, resting his forehead against Zara's. "This is dangerous." "Everything about you is dangerous," Zara said. "I'm a criminal. A killer. I've done things that would make you run." "I know. I can't promise you safety. Can't promise you normal. Can't promise you anything except that being with me will put you in constant danger." Zara thought about the past 7 days. Thought about who she'd been before the warehouse. Broken. Giving up. Ready to disappear. And who she was now. Alive. Fighting. Feeling things she hadn't felt in years. "I was already in danger," she said quietly. "I was in danger of never living at all." Jae-sung's eyes closed. When he opened them again, there was something raw and vulnerable in them that made Zara's heart ache. "I'm going to protect you," he said, "no matter what it costs." "I know," Zara said, and she did. She knew it the way she knew her own name, knew it the way she knew the sun would rise. This man, this dangerous, broken, beautiful man, would burn the world down before he let anyone hurt her. The question was, what would she do for him? Day 10, NAC, Morning Safe House number 2, turned out to be a traditional hanok on the outskirts of Seoul. "This is your grandmother's house," Zara said. Not a question. Jae-sung helped her out of the SUV, his hand lingering on her lower back. "How did you know?" "The shoes by the door, women's size, and I can smell kimchi fermenting." She looked at the traditional Korean house with its curved roof and beautiful gardens. "You brought me to your grandmother. She's the only person who knows about this place. Jiwoo won't find you here." "You mean us won't find us here?" Jae-sung's lips quirked. "Us." The front door opened before they could knock. An elderly Korean woman stood there, barely 5 feet tall, with sharp eyes and an expression that could cut glass. She looked at Jae-sung, then at Zara, then back at Jae-sung. Then she launched into rapid Korean that even Zara, who'd picked up some of the language, couldn't follow. But she caught certain words. Girl, dangerous, stupid boy. Jae-sung took it with the patience of someone used to this. When his grandmother finally paused for breath, he responded in Korean. The old woman's eyes narrowed. Then, to Zara's surprise, she switched to accented but clear English. "You, Nigerian girl, you love my stupid grandson?" Zara's mouth fell open. We're not. It's complicated." "Complicated," grandmother snorted. "Love is simple. Everything else is complicated." She studied Zara with eyes that saw too much. "He brought you here, to my house, to our family's safe place. You know what that means? That we're in trouble?" that you are important. She said it like a pronouncement, like a fact. Come inside, both of you. You look terrible. The hanok's interior was beautiful, all wood floors and paper screens and carefully arranged flowers. It smelled like ginger tea and mothballs and history. Grandmother led them to a low table and immediately started serving food. Rice, soup, kimchi, and Zara's eyes widened, fried plantains. How did you... she started. Jung called ahead. Grandmother said with a dismissive wave. Smart boy. That one. Not like my grandson, who brings gunfights to his grandmother's door. How Mioni, Jae-sung said, a warning in his voice. Don't how Mioni me. You think I'm too old to know what's happening? Park Ji-woo is hunting you because of her. She pointed at Zara with her chopsticks. Because you couldn't let her die. No, Jae-sung said simply. I couldn't. The old woman's eyes softened slightly. Like your sister, you see Min Seo in her. I see someone worth protecting, worth dying for. The question hung in the air. Zara held her breath. Jae-sung looked at her, then really looked at her. His eyes traced her face like he was memorizing it, like she was something precious and breakable and essential. Yes, he said quietly, worth dying for. Grandmother made a satisfied sound. Good. Then you might actually survive this. She turned to Zara. Eat, child. You're too skinny. Nigerian girls should have meat on their bones. Despite everything, Zara laughed. Yes, ma'am. They ate in relative silence, the kind of comfortable quiet that comes from shared danger and new understanding. Zara caught Jae-sung watching her several times, his expression unreadable. After the meal, grandmother shooed them away. Go rest. Both of you look like death. Jae-sung, show her to the guest room. And boy, she fixed him with a stern look. Guest room means guest room. I'm old, but I'm not dead. Jae-sung's ears turned slightly red, which Zara found absurdly endearing. Day 10, afternoon. Zara woke from a nap to find Jae-sung sitting at the low table in her room, sketching. She lay still, watching him. He'd removed his tactical gear and was dressed simply in a black t-shirt and jeans. The dragon tattoo rippled as he moved, the red eyes seeming to watch his work. You draw, she said quietly. He didn't startle, didn't look up. Min Seo taught me. She said it helped with control, with calming the mind. Can I see? Jae-sung hesitated, then turned the sketch pad toward her. It was her. He'd drawn her sleeping, her braids spread across the pillow, her face peaceful in a way it never was when she was awake. The detail was incredible. He'd captured the exact curve of her lips, the way her lashes cast shadows on her cheeks, even the small scar from the first night. You're good, Zara said, her throat tight. I had a good subject. She sat up, pulling the blanket around her shoulders. Teach me? You want to learn to draw? I want to learn who you are when you're not being the silent reaper. Something shifted in Jae-sung's expression. He moved closer, bringing the sketch pad and charcoal with him. Okay, give me your hand. He guided her through the basics. How to hold the charcoal, how to see shapes instead of objects, how to let the drawing flow rather than forcing it. His hand covered hers, warm and steady. His breath tickled her ear when he leaned close to correct her grip, and slowly, on the page, a dragon began to take shape. Your tattoo, Zara said. Why a dragon? In Korean mythology, dragons protect the innocent. They're fierce and loyal. He paused. Min Seo always said I was like a dragon. Scary on the outside, but protecting something precious inside. What are you protecting? The memory of who I was before this life, before the killing, before I became the monster. His hand tightened on hers. With you, I remember being human. Zara turned to face him, letting the charcoal fall. You are human. The monster is what you do, not who you are. I'm not sure there's a difference anymore, Jae-sung said. Then let me show you. Zara leaned in and kissed him. Slowly this time, tenderly. The way you kiss someone you're learning to love, not just someone you need. When they broke apart, Jae-sung's eyes were wet. I don't know how to do this, he whispered. How to be this with you. Neither. Do I, Zara admitted. But we'll figure it out together. From somewhere in the house, grandmother called out in Korean. Something about tea. Jae-sung laughed, that rare, beautiful sound, and pressed his forehead to Zara's. She's going to drive us crazy. Good, Zara said. Crazy is better than dead. Day 15, evening, they'd fallen into a routine at the hanok. Mornings, Jae-sung trained in the garden while Zara watched and drank tea with grandmother. Afternoons, they helped with chores. Zara learned to make kimchi properly. Jae-sung fixed things around the house. Evenings, they drew together, or talked, or sat in comfortable silence. Jung visited daily with updates. Park Ji-woo was tearing Seoul apart looking for them. She'd put a bounty on Jae-sung's head, killed 3 of his men who refused to betray him. The war was escalating. And Zara was falling in love with a man who might not survive it. You're thinking too loud, Jae-sung said from beside her. They were in the garden, watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of orange and pink. I'm thinking about what happens next, Zara said honestly. Next, we end this. Jung found Ji-woo's main base. I'm going to. No. Zara turned to face him. That's not what I mean. What happens with us? Jae-sung was quiet for a long moment. I don't know. Do you want there to be an us? More than I've wanted anything in 5 years. He took her hand, threading their fingers together. But wanting isn't enough. I can't give you normal. Can't give you safe. Can't give you the life you deserve. What if I don't want normal? Zara challenged. What if I want this? Want you? You don't know what you're saying. Don't patronize me. Her voice sharpened. I'm not a child, and I'm not stupid. I know what you do. I know what you are, and I'm choosing you anyway. Jae-sung's jaw tightened. You shouldn't, but I am. Zara moved closer, cupping his face with her free hand. You saved me, Jae-sung. Not just from that explosion. From myself. From giving up. You made me want to live again. That's not love. That's gratitude. Stockholm Syndrome. Is it? Zara's eyes flashed. Is it Stockholm Syndrome when I think about your smile and my chest aches? When I hear your voice and feel safe? When I imagine a future and you're in every version of it? Zara, I love you, she said, the words spilling out before she could stop them. I love you, and I know it's insane, and I know it's fast, and I know we barely know each other, but I love you anyway. Jae-sung looked like she'd shot him. His eyes were wide, his breath coming in short gasps. His hand came up to adjust his watch, that nervous tell. But Zara caught it, held it. Say something, she whispered. I can't. His voice. I can't say it, because if I say it, if I admit it, then I can't do what needs to be done. What needs to be done? I have to end this war. Have to eliminate Ji-woo. He pulled away from her, standing up, pacing, and there's a good chance I won't survive it. The words hit Zara like a physical blow. No, it's the only way to keep you safe, to keep grandmother safe, to end this. He turned to face her, and his eyes were full of a pain that made her want to scream. Jung can get you out of Korea. New identity, new life. Somewhere Ji-woo will never find you. I don't want a new life without you in it. You'll forget. Don't you dare. Zara stood up, fury and fear making her shake. Don't you dare tell me what I'll feel. You don't get to make that choice for me. I'm trying to protect you. I don't want your protection if it means losing you. She was crying now, hot, angry tears. You said I made you remember being human. Well, you made me remember being alive, And I will not let you throw that away on some suicide mission because you think you're expendable. I am expendable, Jae-sung said quietly. But you're not. Then we're both worth saving, Zara said fiercely. So find another way. Find a way we both survive. Because I'm not leaving you, Choi Jae-sung. You're stuck with me. For a long moment, they just stared at each other. Two broken people who'd found each other in violence and chaos and were desperately trying to hold on. Then Jae-sung crossed the space between them in 2 strides and kissed her like she was air and he was drowning. Like she was hope and he was lost. Like she was the answer to every question he'd been too afraid to ask. When they finally broke apart, he pressed his forehead to hers and whispered the words that changed everything. I love you too. Day 18. Midnight. Jung burst into prized, the hanok at midnight, tablet in hand and fear in his eyes. Boss, we have a problem. Jae-sung was up instantly, all traces of sleep gone. Zara followed him to the main room where Young was setting up his equipment. Ji-woo found the warehouse, Young said, pulling up security footage. The one where we keep the shipment records. She's threatening to expose everything unless you meet her, tomorrow, alone. It's a trap, Zara said immediately. Of course it's a trap, Jae-sung replied. But she has leverage now. Jung pulled up another screen. There's more. She found out about. He hesitated, glancing at Zara. She found your mother. The world stopped. What? Zara's voice was barely a whisper. Jung looked at Jae-sung, who had gone very still. Boss, you need to tell her. Tell me what? Zara's heart was hammering. Jung, what are you talking about? My mother is in Lagos. She's in Seoul, Jae-sung said quietly. She's been here for 6 months. The room tilted. Zara grabbed the table for support. That's not possible. She sends me messages from Lagos. She had someone send them for her. Jae-sung couldn't meet her eyes. I found her on day 3. She was working as a maid in one of the buildings I own. I had Jung track down all Nigerian nationals in Seoul, looking for anyone connected to you. Found her by accident. And you didn't tell me? Zara's voice rose. For 15 days, you knew my mother was alive and in the same city, and you didn't tell me? I was trying to protect you. Protect her. If Ji-woo found out, she found out anyway. Zara was shaking with fury and shock and too many emotions to name. You lied to me! I didn't lie. I just didn't tell me the truth. Same thing. She backed away from him. All this time I thought, how could you? Because I knew you'd want to see her. Jae-sung's control finally cracked. I knew you'd insist on going to her, and that would put both of you in danger. So yes, I kept it from you, because keeping you alive was more important than telling you the truth. That wasn't your choice to make. In my world, I make all the choices. Then maybe I don't belong in your world. The words hung between them like a chasm. Jung cleared his throat awkwardly. Guys? Ji-woo has her mother. That's kind of the pressing issue here. Zara's anger drained away, replaced by cold fear. She has my mother? Took her 3 hours ago, Jung confirmed. The message is clear. Jae-sung trades himself for her. No, Zara said immediately. It's the only way, Jae-sung said, his voice hollow. No, Zara grabbed his arm. You just said it's a trap. You go there, you die. Then I die. He said it so calmly, like it was, I have already decided. But your mother lives. You live. I just told you I love you, and now you want to throw yourself away? Zara's voice broke. That's not love. That's not protection. That's just giving up. Jae-sung cupped her face with both hands, his thumbs wiping away tears she didn't know she'd shed. I'm not giving up. I'm choosing what matters. And you matter more than anything. So do you, Zara whispered. To me, you matter. Then I'm sorry. He kissed her forehead gently. Jung, call Ji-woo. Set up the meeting. Tomorrow, noon at the warehouse district. Boss, do it. Grandmother appeared in the doorway, her face grave. She spoke in Korean, her voice sharp and urgent. Jung translated quietly. She says you're a fool if you think dying will protect anyone. She says Minseo didn't die so you could throw your life away on guilt. Jae-sung flinched like he'd been slapped. Halmyeoni is Dumer started. But the old woman cut him off with rapid Korean, her eyes fierce. When she finished, she looked at Zara and switched to English. You love him? Yes, Zara said without hesitation. Then stop him from being stupid. Grandmother's eyes were wet. I already lost one grandchild. I won't lose another. Not like this. She turned and left, her footsteps echoing in the silent house. Zara looked at Jae-sung. Really looked at him. At the man who'd saved her life, who'd shown her how to live again, who'd kissed her like she was something precious, and held her like she was something breakable. The man who was planning to die tomorrow. There has to be another way, she said, her voice steady despite the fear coursing through her. There isn't. Jae-sung turned away from her, his shoulders tense. Jung has the paperwork ready. If something happens to me, you and your mother will be on a plane to Lagos within hours. You'll be safe. Safe and without you. Yes, that's not good enough. Jae-sung turned back to face her, and for the first time since she'd met him, she saw him truly broken. Not the cold crime lord, not the silent reaper, just a man who'd lost too much and couldn't bear to lose anything else. I don't know what else to do, he whispered. Then let me think. Zara's mind was racing. Give me tonight. Let me think of something, please. Zara, please. She grabbed his hand, held it tight. You gave me a second chance at life. Let me return the favor. Day 19 to 6:47 a.m. Zara hadn't slept. She'd spent the entire night pacing, thinking, planning. Jung had given her access to all the information they had on Jiwoo, her operations, her weaknesses, her desires, and slowly an idea had formed. Now, as dawn broke over Seoul, Zara sat at the low table with Jung and Jae-sung, laying out her plan. She doesn't want you dead, Zara said. Not really. She wants what you have, your power, your territory. Your respect. That's not, Jae-sung started. It is. Zara cut him off. Jung, show him the intel. Every attack Jiwoo has made has been strategic. She's not just killing for revenge. She's building an empire. She wants yours. Jung nodded, pulling up files on his tablet. Zara's right, boss. Jiwoo has been systematically taking over your operations. The bomb was meant to eliminate you and make it look like an accident so she could claim your territory without a war. So, what are you suggesting? Jae-sung asked, his eyes on Zara. We give her what she wants, Zara said simply. All of it. The room went silent. You're crazy, Jung said finally. I'm Nigerian, Zara countered. We're born negotiators. Think about it. She gets everything she's fighting for without more bloodshed. You get to live. Everyone wins. Except I lose everything. I've built, Jae-sung said. You lose money and power, Zara corrected. But you keep your life. You keep your grandmother. You keep... She hesitated. You keep me, if you want to. Jae-sung stared at her like she'd just offered him the world. Which, in a way, she had. You would do that, he asked quietly. Give up everything I have? For me? It's just money and power, Zara said fiercely. It's not you, and you're what matters. She'll never agree to it. She will if we make the offer right. Zara leaned forward. Jung, can you set up a meeting? Not the one she wants. A real negotiation. Neutral ground. Witnesses. Jung looked at Jae-sung, who was staring at Zara with an expression that made her heart ache. Boss? Jung asked. Jae-sung was quiet for a long moment. Then he reached across the table and took Zara's hand. "Set it up," he said. "But I have one condition." "What?" Zara asked. "You come with me. If this is going to work, she needs to see why I'm doing it. She needs to see you." "That's dangerous," Jung warned. "Everything about this is dangerous," Jae-sung said, his eyes never leaving Zara's face. "But I'm not doing this without her." Zara squeezed his hand. "Together. Together," he agreed. Day 19, 11. A.M. Zara watched Jae-sung prepare for what could be his last negotiation. He dressed all in black, tactical gear, bulletproof vest, weapons concealed in places she couldn't even see. The dragon tattoo seemed to move in the morning light, those red eyes watching everything. But there was something different about him now, a lightness, a hope. "You really think this will work?" he asked, checking his gun with practiced efficiency. "I think it's better than dying," Zara replied. She was dressed simply jeans, a dark shirt, her braids pulled back. She looked like what she was, a woman fighting for the man she loved. Grandmother was in the kitchen, preparing food with the focused energy of someone trying not to think about goodbye. But she looked up when they came in, and her eyes were fierce. She spoke in Korean. Jung translated. "She says to come back alive, or she'll kill you herself." Despite everything, Jae-sung smiled. "Yes, Halmione." The old woman came over and gripped his face with both hands, speaking rapidly in Korean. Then she turned to Zara and switched to English. "Bring him home." "I will," Zara promised. "Good girl." Grandmother pulled her into a brief, tight hug. "Now go. And remember, Nigerian girls are strong. Show that woman what strong looks like." 11:52 a.m. en route to Warehouse District. In the back of the SUV, Zara's hand was wrapped tightly in Jae-sung's. "If anything goes wrong," he started. "Nothing will go wrong," Zara interrupted. "But if it does, then we run. Together, like we said." Jae-sung pulled her close, pressing his lips to her temple. "I love you, Zainab Okafor." "I love you too, Choi Jae-sung," Jung called from the front seat. "Boss, we're 5 minutes out. Ji-woo's already there. She brought 30 men. We brought 2 and a prayer," Jae-sung muttered. 3, Zara corrected. "You, me, and Jung. We're enough." The warehouse district came into view. Gray buildings, empty streets, the smell of rain and rust. Jung pulled up to Warehouse 12, the one they'd agreed on, neutral ground, supposedly. "Last chance to change your mind," Jae-sung said. Zara looked at him, this man who'd saved her, protected her, loved her, this man who was willing to give up everything for her safety. "Not a chance," she said. They got out of the SUV. The warehouse doors were open. Inside, Park Ji-woo waited. Zara took a deep breath, squeezed Jae-sung's hand one more time, and together they walked into the darkness. Besties, I'm going to stop right there because I'm evil and I love a good cliffhanger. What do you think is going to happen? Will Zara's plan work? Will Ji-woo accept the deal? Will they get her mother back safely? Drop your predictions in the comments below. And if you want to see episode 2, and trust me, you need to see episode 2, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, besties. Remember, love is worth fighting for, even when the odds are impossible.